Big Daddy Jupiter is about to ingress the sign of Cancer, and here's why that's important. Hey there, my name is Tracy. I'm a consulting astrologer, and if you're new to my Substack, welcome. The planet Jupiter, biggest planet in our solar system, is preparing to ingress, i.e. enter, the sign of Cancer on Monday, June 9th. This is the first time Jupiter has traveled through constellation Cancer in over the past 12 years. The last time we saw Jupiter moving through the sign of the Crab was around 2013, 2014. So it's kind of a big deal. In classical myth, Jupiter was known as father of the gods. In Roman myth, Jupiter is Zeus's equivalent. Zeus is the Greek god of the gods. And Jupiter in astrology connects us to all that is prosperous. It is this planet that expands and broadens whatever it touches. Cancer, meanwhile, a water sign that I often describe as the matriarch of the zodiac, is a sign that connects us to the things that nourish us, our families, our communities, our emotional world and body, how we navigate what is holy, what is sacred. This is a highly nurturing energy. And so I find it quite fitting that the father of the gods is merging with the matriarch, the mother of the zodiac, because it speaks of an important balance between yin and yang, or a better way of putting it, a balance between masculine energy and feminine energy. It's also important to note that Jupiter is said to be exalted in the sign of Cancer, meaning that it operates at its very best in this sign. And it makes me think of the saying, behind every good man is a... And of course, I don't mean to get all heteronormative here. My point is that as the patriarchy crumbles, we definitely need some more feminine touches of energy. And so in the sign of Cancer, especially when we think of how Jupiter makes things bigger, Jupiter brings increase, and Cancer, again, is this protective source. I think an easy interpretation of this duo, this combination of energy, can be described as healing, can be described as a soothing balm, in that the more we embrace the softness of life, acknowledging that that softness is actually a strength to possess, the more our own emotional reserves will return to equilibrium. The more we may find ourselves being more giving, more nurturing, more considerate, more compassionate, more empathic to the world that we are currently living in. That said, Jupiter's influence can also be a little excessive. Jupiter's influence can also be somewhat paternalistic. And so we do want to be mindful of how that planet can exacerbate the energy of Cancer. What comes to mind, for example, would be forms of manipulation or passive aggression when it comes to securing our needs, when it comes to watering the ground beneath our feet, and when it comes to protecting and preserving our peace. In other words, think Cancer Elon Musk and his little temper tantrum. It's also quite possible, as both the planets Neptune and Saturn travel through the sign of Aries — Aries was the god of war in classical myth — that these two planets will in fact bump heads with Jupiter in Cancer, especially throughout the month of June, and double down on the efforts, the patriarchal efforts of suppressing this feminine energy that is seeking to rise and be of greater influence, courtesy, especially now, of Jupiter's ingress. On a world stage, we're definitely going to see a lot of focus around protecting women, protecting women's rights, protecting bodily autonomy for women, from abortion to sex abuse scandals, as we're seeing with Jared Leto and P. Diddy. We're also going to see this influence take on greater impact in communities of care, especially when we talk about the unhoused community and the unhoused crisis that we're navigating in this country. But ultimately, Jupiter in Cancer seeks to further the ascension of the divine feminine in all of us, whether you identify as male or female or asexual. And in the process, there will be an equal attempt to suppress the power of that divine feminine influence. So what does this mean? Personally, I take this as an invitation to unapologetically embody this Cancerian influence, and in ways that give us permission to overindulge. So whether that looks like creating sanctuary within your physical space and environment, or creating sanctuary for immigrants who are being targeted and kidnapped by ICE agents. I think it looks like redefining our own femininity and finding ways to mother ourselves and to mother our communities as we all take on the role of birth doula, giving birth to this new world that is emerging. Jupiter will remain in the sign of Cancer through the end of June of 2026. So this gives us an entire year to plant and or replant seeds that are meant to serve as our foundation of replenishment, that are meant to keep us grounded and anchored to our emotional bodies, and to learn to remember our foremothers, to revere the divine feminine, to hold the matriarch sacred, whether it looks like nurturing our communities and the spaces that we frequent, or calling in our soul kin and nurturing the larger collective.